Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. As always, I'm the Wombat of DM, and we are here for session 27 of our ongoing campaign in Seregen and etc. Welcome to the stream, everyone. You are joining us on an excellent day. It is our year anniversary of us starting this campaign when we did session 0 back this time last year. So, technically, next session, the 28th session, will be our first official year done, but session 0 does count. So, it's just that'll be our anniversary for Twitch live instead of together as a family. Speaking of family, let's introduce our party. We'll start with Belzian, go with Roger, Ulrich, Yarvik, and Zippo last. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm the Bane Wall, and I play Belzian Gilcus, the half-elf monk who is probably going to write an exciting book about this adventure.
Not if Jordan doesn't get to it first.
Maybe we
Jordan
co-author
is the human bard.
Maybe one of us will die. I mean...
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, go ahead, Raj.
Roger. The Wood Elf Assassin. Wood Elf Assassin? Yes, he would.
I play Ulrich Oakenhearth, the human paladin.
I am Jaeger, and I play Yarvik, the halfling ranger, whose post-campaign career may include a delve into the culinary arts. We don't know.
I'm Zippo, and I had character development last game, so therefore I now have what we in the business call plot armor. So
And what are you?
I'm an in-between right now. I'm immortal? Like, I'm a dragon? You take your pick. I'm currently a warlock sorcerer. I don't know if that will change this session or next. Or where it'll change to. I may soon be a blacksmith. I mean, who knows? Future careers.
I'm just gonna put kobold question marks.
I love it. Yeah.
We're not even sure if he's a kobold. All right.
Soon to be dragon. Once we meet the dragons, and I get turned.
Don't we have one more?
I get turned as if the dragons were like vampires, and they just bite you, and you turn into a
Reagan.
All right, so
Don't we have one more person in the party?
I did it in between Roger and Belzian. Jordan, the human bard, who's our DMPC.
The father of the party. The most beautiful man alive.
Papa Jordan,
Daddy.
at your service.
Daddy.
So, last session was an interesting one. The party continued to ask questions of a certain barbarian that they met that was probably mad. Definitely mad. His name was Piran, and he quickly, throughout the beginning of the session, started getting a little bit more mad as he went along, and ultimately ended up disappearing behind the curtain and saying, "Don't follow me." And later the party heard loud snores from a giant lion in that same area, so they're not sure what to make of that. He also chanted some strange words in that they'd found throughout the cave as well, so they're not really sure what that could be. Eventually the party decided to take their leave, and they went due east, trying to head toward the Dragonlands, because Zippo definitely wants to visit the dragons, although the party has mixed thoughts about where they're really going at this point. They're just going east for now. And on their way, some animals in the canopy of the jungle started making noises of alert throughout the area. and they found that the alerts were for a manticore that had begun stalking the group. Fortunately, Roger saw the manticore first and killed it in 2 shots. From there, the party then argued about what to take from the manticore for about an hour in session and out of session, and eventually just took the toe. So that's kind of where we are now. So as always, I leave it into your fine hands, party. What would you like to do next?
Oh, we're
Maybe
really
even
sure we want that
talk
toe.
amongst...
I mean, we could take 2 toes.
Let's leave it with the toe.
Yes, let's leave with the toe.
Totally.
What? I thought for sure I told you guys about these puns.
Nailed it.
There we go.
I don't have one for phalange. Sorry.
You know, that was a nickname that I had when I was a kid. Fractured my pinky, and for some reason people thought that'd be funny to call me Phalange. Don't know why.
It is very interesting. They're
Your
called
name's not
Yes.
even Flanders.
toes.
Exactly. Made no sense. Pretty sure they all just kind of learned the word around that time. Anyway, onward.
Yeah, speaking of sense, can we get a sense of where we are? It feels very jungly here. There's a dead manticore, and we're headed, hopefully, east?
If we're looking for senses, we should definitely get all. He's got that divine one.
I mean, I don't think I can just tell you what direction we're going. That's more for sussing out fiends and like.
Fair.
I think we should keep walking in the direction that we've been going, but maybe turn to the left a little bit.
Yeah, why not? What do you say, Yarvik? I don't know if this isn't exactly your territory, but
Left takes us farther away from the ditch where the wall used to be. I say left it is. And we should definitely take the time.
all right.
To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left.
I'm not familiar with that song. Where did you hear that?
At a place called Cha Cha.
Huh.
They had a
For
big
sure.
slide.
It sounds like a very smooth
It was
tune.
really smooth.
You guys are in rare form tonight, aren't you?
I also want to confirm we also confirmed that the communication magic does not work via on this side to connect to the other side, correct?
Yeah, we confirmed that.
Yeah, okay. I was making sure because I thought I remember us doing it, but I wasn't 100%, and I didn't want to like be metagaming myself.
I suppose we could have left a ring of communication with Pirin. Perhaps we could leave one with the next stranger we find in the woods.
Maybe the next stranger we find in the woods won't be a werelion.
Maybe.
We can always send sending spells to Pirin with Jordan's extra spell slots. I don't know what good it could possibly do, but we could totally do it.
Look, when in doubt, werelion out, okay?
Where lion in the cave. we left it there.
I mean, last time we saw him, if it was him, I mean, we haven't seen the Were Lion and Pirin in the same place at the same time, but let's not come to conclusions immediately.
Well, shall we?
Let us.
Onward.
Yeah, you all need
travelers.
to catch up to me. Ulrich already have been walking.
Where'd Ulrich go?
Oh, so you're not riding?
Ulrich, you can walk for a mile and I
Walking the
catch up with
horse,
you.
you know.
Hmm. Okay. I had to clarify.
Yeah.
You know I had to.
Yeah.
All right. If Yarvik would like to make a survival check to try and make sure that he's going in the right or that the party's going in the right direction, by all means. All right. You guys are heading due east as wanting, instead of having the roll to see which direction you're really going. You rolled a natural 20, so I cannot argue that.
You could.
Yarvik feels just powerfully drawn to exactly a heading of 90 degrees. He's just...
So basically, what I'm interpreting this as is at the point you are in the jungle, Yarvik actually finds a spot in the canopy where he can see the sky a bit, and since the sun's shining through, there's actual like evidence of shadow on the ground and all kinds of different things. He kind of puts 2 and 3 together and gets 5 for once, and says, "This is the way we need to go to be east." Speaking of going east, I need to go east for just a moment to let my cat in. So one moment. Come on. Come on. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, kitty.
Go on. Come on. Come on.
Here, kitty. Take up the seat as DM.
I am back.
Welcome back.
All right. So the party is heading due east at this point. One thing I will say is that you have spent quite a bit of time. In fact, it is growing dark. That's one of the reasons why Yarvik was able to tell where east was. As you can see on the map, Piran's Cave is about a day's travel from here, so you're about spent for the day.
Alright, Yarvik, before the sun disappears, mark which way is east so we can find it again in the morning.
Yep. Just gonna put a little crosshatch in the tree that is directly east from us, and I think that'll be good.
Okay, what do you mark? You said you were marking a tree?
Yeah, gonna put a mark on the tree in the bark.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, how are you setting up camp for tonight?
With our camping gear.
I mean, you're fairly close to the Manticore still. You've walked a few hundred feet at this point before realizing it's getting dark. I assume you're probably putting a little bit more distance between you and the creature.
Just to be safe. Because, animals like to eat things. Scavengers are a thing.
Scavengers hate fighting. We'll be fine.
I very distinctively remember a legend passed down in my hometown that says the exact opposite.
Oh.
But I'll take your word for it. You're older than me.
If they were super interested in fighting, we would call them fighters and not scavengers.
But there's no better way to scavenge something than off a person you just killed.
That's not scavenging, that's just being a predator.
So we'll just Roger will kill stuff and we'll scavenge that. Then he could be the predator and we could be the.
You know, that logic makes sense to me.
If you say so. And as long as I continue to roll above average on initiative, that'll keep happening.
Fair.
Shall we strike out a
right.
perimeter for our campground and get ready for a new exciting overnight adventure in a strange land?
Yeah.
All right, so the normal questions I have to ask is, what kind of perimeter are you setting? Are you creating a fire tonight? And who's taking watches?
I'm going to take the first watch. I would also suggest that we not set a fire tonight because this is a triple layer canopy. None of us are familiar with this environment, so it would probably be a good idea to kind of, as we're sitting, kind of listen and get used to the sounds and the smells of this place. Because we spent the night in Parents' Cave, so we didn't really get to know anything about the environment we're in.
Yeah, we got used to a certain smell, though.
Oh, yeah.
Look, only you and Zippo went into the back part of that cave.
And
only
it will
goes
haunt
by-
me forever, Roger. I ain't gonna shut up about it.
That's gonna be the horror story if I ever have kids that I tell them. It's gonna be about the time I almost got eaten by a werelion, so I had to cover myself in his poop so he didn't see me.
No one asked you to do that.
The kids won't know that though. I'll be a hero to them.
No,
It's a good thing that session wasn't recorded.
Right?
so, I just think, yeah, I agree with you, Yarvik. No fire. Should probably have some sense of a perimeter. And I'm happy to stay first watch.
How well can you see in the dark? Well, what exactly would you be watching in the dark of night without a campfire?
It'd be more listening,
Listening
if
and
I'm being
smelling.
honest.
Also, you could be surprised what you'd be able to see in the night after your eyes adjust and you're not. Especially since we don't have a lot of light pollution from the sky or the moon. Your eyes can do a lot when they adjust. Even us poor schleps who don't have dark vision.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a fair point though, Belgian. And if one of y'all wants to take first watch, by all means, I'll take the last watch when it's a little lighter. But I figure I'll hear if something's creeping up. I'll kind of stay close to you all with my weapon at the ready.
I think it would be pertinent for each shift to have one person who cannot see in the dark and one that can, since we have 3 who can and 3 who cannot.
There you go. That'll solve it.
Goody.
Make sure each watch has somebody with dark vision.
Roger, you want to do the usual?
Alright, assume the position.
Not in front of him, Roger. Come on.
Jordan volunteers to take third watch again with Zippo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do first watch with you, Ulrich.
Sounds good.
That leaves the half elf and the halfling for second shift.
2 halves make a whole.
Joyous occasion.
All right. Without a fire, food is rations and water at this point. Since nobody foraged for any fruits or anything of the like on their travels, the party is relying on their traveling stock from their traveling kits. As you settle in for the night, the familiar sound of thunder echoes in the distance. It seems like this region is quite rainy. It did rain yesterday while you were traveling, and it sounds like it's going to rain fairly shortly yet again. About a half hour into the watch, the first watch, it begins pouring rain. At this point, I would like first shift to roll for perception checks with disadvantage.
All right.
Disadvantage.
Yes. Whoa.
I get a 23.
Okay, I see what happened. Very nice.
I'll do an 18.
Well, that works. So basically, the rain is, kicking up a bit of a fog. So it's lower visibility and it's harder to hear. But maybe it's that you're used to being out in the elements, especially the two of you working together. You're able to still overcome these issues fairly well. So you're still confidently providing a good watch for the camp. You just kind of go to areas where it's maybe a little drier and more comfortable to watch without it like water running into your eyes or whatnot, So that helps quite a bit.
Well, other than rain, don't see anything too dangerous, seems.
Yeah, seems perfectly safe to me. This is the safest I've felt since our first day of leaving Jane. When there was nobody on the road.
Yeah.
What do you think of this new land, Rick?
Well, it's odd, to say the least. I mean, kind of weird that, whole civilizations existed on the other side of the wall like that. A little discomforting. And can't really say. I mean, Perrin was nice enough. Perrin, apologies, was nice enough, but can't say it's how I hope everyone is. If you follow.
Yeah,
Just,
I'm not confident that we're going to be welcomed with open arms at the Dragon Clan's territory, but judging by Piran's reaction, the Axe Clan's no friendlier, so I suppose we may as well press on. I have some hope we'll come across the Druids at some point.
yeah, it'd be nice. But,
Get back to nature, you know?
yeah. Yeah, we just don't really get enough nature in our line of work.
It's true. I mean, what really says nature than trying to sleep in 6 inches of running water?
Exactly. Ah, shit. I gotta roll Yarvik over. Looks like he's about to choke.
Hey, second watch. Poke, poke.
Yeah.
The water has
And
risen
scene.
up to your mouth. Time to get up.
Yep.
What is this? Sideways rain? Little bitty stinging rain?
Sometimes
fact,
the rain comes straight up from the ground.
Based off of the fact that the party doesn't have shelter and the constant stream of rain, the entire party kind of has to relocate, so everybody kind of has to break sleep for a moment as they, you can select routes, like higher routes, like closer to the trees where it's kind of a little bit more higher, but like those gullies that you were walking in that were making travel a lot easier as you meandered through the jungle are now kind of trenches of water that are heading southwest from you. It seems like downhill is that direction, which makes sense if you're looking at the globe. The mountains are to the northeast. So.
It appears to be very wet.
It's could carefully be described as an understatement. I think.
I mean, we crossed that one river. What's another?
It's interesting that the weather would be so different over here, even though the wall, the wall was tall, but this is a completely different environment over here.
Do you think that the wall actually separated the different biomes because it was so tall?
Maybe, or there was a magical reason why that happened. I wouldn't think it would be tall enough, but the weather patterns seem just completely odd. And all this water's been running downhill, right? So it's running towards the trench. Where did that water go? I don't know. There's so many questions.
Be worth it to mention this to the rest of the party in the morrow. Maybe we could camp out by a lake or something.
Sure, I haven't been fishing in a long time.
Oh, you hunt fish as well?
Yeah, living in the woods, you're mountaineering and your woodcraft all kind of, you have to use all of the tools at your disposal to survive. So, fishing, hunting, trapping, foraging, I do. I like all of that stuff. Something about it just speaks to me. It's a very simple, very connected way of life.
Wow, that's fascinating. You're not terribly vertical, my friend, but have you ever caught a fish that was bigger than you?
I've had some good fights, but those are the ones that get away.
There's plenty of fish in the sea, though, my friend.
Still need to see the sea.
Mm.
Do some of that ocean fishing.
I just see lots of trees. I wonder what else we'll see.
I'm really interested in seeing what these barbarian lands have to offer and how like and how different they are from Perrin, finding out whether they're like him or whether they're very much different from him. We have one side of the story from him, but it will be very interesting to see another side of the story.
Oh goodness, maybe they're all were-lions.
Oh yeah, that guy was totally a lion. You can't convince me he wasn't a lion.
Well, I'm not convinced. I'll have to see it to believe it.
Yervik begins just whittling a tiny boat. He just grabs a branch from the water that's flowing past, and just decides to, he's just carving a tiny little boat.
Are there any little rocks around? Just like pebbles, general, or is this water everywhere?
I mean, there's plenty of rocks around for sure.
This reminds me of a game I played in my youth. You take a branch or a little twig or a stick like this, and you load it with a bunch of little rocks, and then you put it into the water. As it gets further away from you, you try to pelt it with more rocks of your own, little missiles to destroy these little rock soldiers' lives. It's very fun.
Sure, I'm game.
While you're doing that, roll perception with disadvantage, please. I know the music isn't exactly lining up with Stormy Night, but that's what I got.
Sounds like Minecraft music.
Sounds like a rainy night.
That'd be a 10 for perception.
And a 13 for Jaeger. Okay. The deluge is percussioned by higher amounts of lightning during this shift. It makes it harder to hear, and the water is kind of at a steady stream now instead of like a flash flood type of deal, but it's still thunderstorming.
I suppose.
How long do you go
I
ahead?
was just to say, I suppose we should probably get the next group up.
It's what a
Yeah, so you play your game for I guess a couple hours while you keep watch, and eventually you decide to wake up the next group.
awaken ye before underwater you find yourselves.
All right, Jordan and Zippo are awakened. Let's just roll perception checks now, just to get it out of the way. And remember, it's also at a disadvantage. Oof.
Big oof.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh man. All right, so we both have 9. Good morning, Zippo. What a night to choose not to build a fire. I don't know if it would have stayed lit if we had.
this weather over here is definitely different than what we get in Seregen.
Yeah, it seems like they're not out of the rainy season yet as opposed to our seasons.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm really sad, honestly. I don't know if Perrin was really a were-lion, if his whole clan is were-lions.
Well, I hope someday we find out. Maybe the Axe clan could tell us more about the clans to the, well, wherever he's from.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, right now, we only know that we're in the Axe clan territory and that
They're not very
the
friendly.
dragons are somewhere east and that they're not friendly yet.
And that one set of the dragons aren't friendly, and one is, and then that a couple of the Pelices are like, yeah, newcomers, and a couple of them are like, oh no, people we don't know.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about multiple different kingdoms or clans or whatever they want to call themselves. Everybody has a different mentality. Nothing reliable to look at.
Indeed. Indeed.
You know, Seregen was once many kingdoms. It wasn't just a whole kingdom united like we have today.
As long as Maris isn't the ruler, I'm okay with going back to Seregen.
Yeah.
I just don't like
I'd be
Maris.
fine with going back to Seregen myself.
I don't like Maris at all.
Well, I mean, say what you will, but at least he allowed your dog in. Unlike that bar.
Fair. Fair. So I've been thinking, remember when we looked at that necklace? I
Yeah,
think we could,
I couldn't identify it.
yeah, I'm thinking I remember feeling something there, so I was gonna see if we could check it out again, see if we could see what's in there. Since you're the only
Well,
other real magic guy here with me.
I mean, Yarvik has a bit of magic up his sleeve as well.
But his
I mean,
is like forest magic, and Ulrich's is like religious magic. Ours is the only like magic to be magic.
I would say mine is the magic of words. It just has a little bit more power than, say, the normal storyteller, if you catch my drift.
Fair.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at your amulet for a bit, I'll keep watch as best I can in this weather.
Yeah, I'll just sit next to you. If you feel like someone's coming, just shake me if I'm not already awake.
Fair enough.
And I will try to study the necklace.
All right. I guess roll me an Arcana check if that's what you're trying to do. You were ready for that.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you looking to get with this Arcana check?
I remember
what are you
Zippo,
studying?
when he first looked at it, he felt like some kind of like familiar power coming from it. Like when him and Jordan first tried to identify it. So he's gonna try to like focus on that and see if he can figure out more of what the power is with it. Like figure out if it's like something inside that is giving him the power, or if it's more of like the magic itself is coming from like the amulet as a whole and not just something from inside of the amulet, if you get my drift. Kind of like
okay.
If it's the power from the amulet itself that was given to him, or if it's like he got the amulet, but the power's coming from somewhere else, and the amulet is more like a conduit.
Mm-hmm.
Or a funnel.
All right. So as you're concentrating on the amulet, and I'm going to give you, you know what? I'm going to give you advantage on this roll. So roll one more time. I know you rolled rather well. Okay. So as you're studying this amulet, and you're holding it in your hands, you kind of feel a buildup of power within yourself. Like it's almost like stirring the powers that you've absorbed from the amulet. And also you feel that same power welling up inside of the amulet itself. You can sense that power building up, and then it releases itself. It dissipates quickly every time there's a lightning flash. As if the amulet is reacting to the storm some.
Okay, and we're setting in kind of like an opening, like there's a little bit opening above the canopy that we're looking at, or do we move away from that?
I believe you're still there,
Okay.
yes.
Feeling that, Zippo would probably try to stand up, like, and hold the amulet as high as he can towards the sky, to see if he could get like a reaction, like. And if Jordan asks, he'll be like, I feel like the amulet is reacting to the lightning storm that's happening above us. So I don't know if I need to get closer and see if it reacts more or less from it.
Okay. As you hold it into the air and wait for the reaction, the lightning builds up and strikes again. Not anywhere nearby, but it doesn't feel any different. But concentrating on it, it's almost like you can hear somebody screaming in exertion every time the buildup dissipates. You don't hear it with your ears, though. It's way too clear in this rainy weather. You think you might be hearing it from the amulet.
Okay. Let's see here. Uh, do I feel like... Okay, what... Uh, let's see. I'm trying to think what Zippo would do. Zippo's gonna hold, while he's holding the amulet, he's gonna see if, like, him casting Shocking Grasp on it at the same time. Like, he's gonna try to time casting Shocking Grasp for when the next lightning strikes, when the powers build up at, like, its strongest, to see if that affects it any.
Okay. All right, so the lightning builds up. You can feel it coming. As it strikes, you cast Shocking Grasp into it. Does that affect you at all? Because you're holding the item? Like, usually when you're Shocking Grasp, you're shocking somebody else, right?
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking here. It says it springs from your hand to deliver a shock to a creature you try to touch. Make a melee spell attack against the target. You have advantage if they're wearing armor made of metal. And then it lightning damage, and they can't take reactions.
Okay. So I'm going to say, since you're not targeting a creature, you're kind of shooting Shocking Grasp out into, like, at, like, a random plant or something like that. And you're, like, holding the amulet in its path to try and catch the lightning in it. Because it seems like it's target specific.
Yeah.
And since the amulet itself, you're not able to target it. Obviously, the amulet isn't a creature itself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, the lightning that touches the amulet seems to be absorbed by it. The amulet seems to be not damaged or affected in any way by the lightning.
Is there any, like, were there any lightning strikes real close to us recently, or has it been more like
Not
far off
really.
kind of thing?
No, it's been kind of like all over the place. The sounds of exertion, it doesn't seem like it's trying to cause the lightning. It sounds like the sounds of exertion are strongest when the lightning strikes. Like, it's almost like you can feel whatever's in there more strong when you're closest to the element that you've been absorbing from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. I don't feel like I can climb a tree very well in this weather. And I don't have any effects that really let me fly to the sky. So can I take my rope, right, and tie the knot around the amulet, like,
Okay.
super tight, and toss it to the sky to see if lightning can strike it?
So the amulet's fairly small and rope is generally fairly big. I think it's probably going to be tough to tie the rope around the amulet. You could maybe do it around the chain and try and throw it up. But judging from your strength, I'm not sure how high it's going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Having no other thoughts then, Zippo will probably just try to, feeling that there's probably something in there, he's gonna see if he can think of a way to, like, open whatever's holding them, kind of. Because he doesn't like people being imprisoned. He didn't like the water elemental being imprisoned, so his thing is gonna be trying to figure out, like, if it's something he needs to release, or if it's something that's in there voluntarily.
Okay. All right, Zippo, you meditate on that for the rest of the shift. As morning comes and the storm begins to dissipate, almost as if as the sun rises, so does the storm set. you hear in your mind as the thunder stops rumbling very faintly, a sigh of despair. And it falls silent once again.
Okay. That is definitely strange. Yeah, I'll relay to Jordan that it feels like there's something or some like entity in the amulet, and like during the thunderstorm I heard kind of like a cry, but when the thunderstorm was over it sounded like a sad sigh instead of a relieving sigh come from the voice in the amulet.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. See, we didn't die. That's
Good
good.
morning.
Good to see you all again.
Morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping or cawing, as the audio seems to indicate.
We'll be happy to have dry socks at some point in the distant future. Far, far distant future.
I want more
Imagine wearing
thunderstorms.
socks. I hope that was thunder that we heard, not just some mysterious large creature with big feet.
We did eat beans yesterday.
Well,
I mean, we did learn that there may be giants in this area. Maybe that was just a giant doing a dance?
I
hopefully
heard that they threw rocks.
I hate to think what the rain was if that was the case.
Yeah.
How big is a giant's baby?
Shouldn't you have read about this, Mosey? You read all the books.
Well, the books I've read indicated that there's really not a lot to go on with when it comes to giants. At least in Seregen.
Fair. Are we hitting east now?
Tally ho!
Venture awaits.
All right,
huzzah!
so to suss out your destination, you're going toward the mountains. Anybody have a want to ping the area you're trying to go to on the map from where you are, like a day or two's journey?
Yeah, what exactly is it that we're looking for in the short term?
We want to go around the mountains? Do we want to go to the northernmost part of the mountains? In which case, we would basically need to go directly north from here.
I vote we go directly around. Although we could also just go through.
Maybe there's a
Yeah,
mountain
we don't-
path.
There might be a mountain path, but there's probably a mountain tribe too. And I mean, if we're in the Axe Clan territory, assuming that the mountain tribe's not part of the Axe Clan, they've had to be resilient enough to fight them off. And I'm assuming they're not going to be friendly with visitors, seeing as the Axe Clan doesn't seem friendly. So I love mountains though, so I'm down to go to the mountain. I'm just putting that out there.
Maybe we make our way northeast to the mountains, see what we're dealing with, and then decide whether we want to forge through the mountains or around the mountains.
That's doable. Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Get to the tree line if there is one, and see what's up from there.
Brambles, thank you for the 4-month streak and for the 15
yeah.
months subscription. welcome back to the legends that are the legendary wombats. Thanks for being here.
So, plotting a course northeast to the closest edge of the forest. See what we can see.
So, like
Yeah,
here?
somewhere around there, right above the E, right around the V or E in Perrin's Cave, I think.
We can zoom in, enhance. That also brings up another pretty good point, fellows. If we do run into somebody from the Axe Clan, or perhaps several Axe Clansmen, what are we going to do?
Well,
We talk if we can.
Hello, yeah.
as I was always taught, strike first, not last.
Okay, so hide Zippo first.
Speaking
When
of hiding,
Roger will hide,
Big wave.
you guys need bait. And then when they attack you, we'll swoop out of the treetops and kill them.
Right. So, I just feel like we don't need to actually attack anything if it's not attacking us.
Let's not start the first intercontinental war in 1,000 years if we can avoid it.
In the unlikely scenario they encounter all four of you guys and don't attack, we'll be happy to also not kill them.
but in the likely scenario that they angrily look at us, we'll have to kill them.
Yeah.
I don't think that looking at us angry is enough. I think they actually need to,
They actually have to
Look.
be angry. I know.
You ever heard
Attack.
people stare at daggers? I don't want somebody staring a dagger at my direction.
If
That
they
might
stare
hurt.
a dagger at me, I will deflect it.
All right, I'm gonna get my horse ready.
So we're going right here or over here?
I'm thinking more along the lines probably here.
Okay. I'm getting an arc of pings here. All right. All right. So you break what little of camp you have left from the storm and begin heading northeast instead of due east. So rather than going around the mountains as originally kind of progressed, now you're heading straight for them. All right. Are we doing our normal marching orders of Yarvik in the front
Yeah.
Yep.
with Roger in the back, Ulrich and Zippo on the sides, and Belzian and Jordan in the middle?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. That can work for me.
You'll also notice that I've put ground zero on the board, which is where Zippo and Jordan took down the wall single-handedly. Humble brag. And I've also put Piran's Cave on. I did have like a cave symbol on there, but it blended too well with the forest, so I made it a city mark, basically. Not that it's a city by any means, but it's just kind of a point of interest now. All right, are we riding or walking our horses? And what pace are we going?
Oh, since you mentioned provisions, we should take it slow because we're not in a hurry. I need that forage. Also, if we take it slow, I can stealth.
To be honest, Zippo's going to try to make sure that Jordan is paying attention to him, because Zippo's going to try to keep studying the necklace like the trip. So he's going to be, honestly, if he can ride on the back of Jordan and just have Brunhild follow us, that'd be perfect. But if the horse can only hold Jordan, can I tie my rope? Can I tie Brunhild to the horse so that she follows the horse, so that I can study the necklace more?
I mean, Brunhild can probably, since you usually ride her, she could probably just follow the group without getting into too much trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if she was like
Jordan can keep an
could
eye
listen
out.
to that order and follow them.
I mean, if you just say follow, that's probably enough.
All right, yeah, then Zippo will tell Brunhild to follow Jordan specifically, and then we'll sit there and study the necklace more because he's still like, you know, he remembers Atlan being trapped and being in pain, so he's definitely like, oh crap, I don't know what this is. I want to figure this out.
Sure. All right. All right, so the party makes travel. We're going at a slow pace, which is going to be, I just looked at it, but I'm going to look at it again. We're going to go 18 miles if we're going at a slow pace, which is 2 miles per hour. So at that point, if we're going to be foraging for food on our way, I'm going to need survival checks from those who are foraging, and we can see what types of things you're looking to forage for. And for those of you who are keeping watch while that's happening, we'll probably want to do perception checks. I would say we'll have people doing one or the other, not both.
Yeah, I'll do perception.
If you're
Keep eyes note
okay.
as well.
Yeah, I'll do perception.
I'll do survival.
Okay, so Jaeger, our tracker, is going to be kind of scouting for food while the rest keep an eye on things. Jordan, of course, is kind of making sure that we're going the right direction, or at least Zippo is, and Zippo's focusing on his amulet. Jaeger, you find some basic berry bushes. The berries are purple in color. You see that they're quite plentiful along the area that you're traveling.
Hey guys, these berries look good. Is there any way I can do a detect poison or something on these things?
So with your survival check, the reason I pointed them out as things that you found in your foraging is because not only are they plentiful, but it looks like animals have eaten from them. There are branches that are, bitten off, or like birds jump down and fly off of some berries every once in a while, things like that.
Okay, so I'm just going to gather some of these up, along with any other things that may catch our interest, and save these for dinner.
You do notice that there are some fruit trees as well, but the fruit is way up in the canopy, like pretty high up.
Let's see if I can shoot one. See if I can kind of shoot one down. See if I can hit one and at least see what they are.
Okay. Your arrow flies past the fruit.
I don't know if I'm going to waste another arrow on that, so we'll just save it for a rainy day. Wait, can I throw a rock?
You could try throwing a rock for sure.
What is the... what do I roll for that? I don't know what I roll for that.
Well, because you're a halfling, don't you have a better chance at throwing?
Yeah,
rocks?
it should be a racial trait.
Um,
I get,
your terrain type is forest, correct?
that is correct.
So don't forget when you're using so difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel in this while you're leading them, which is one of the reasons why you haven't really had much issue navigating the forest. But your proficiency bonus is doubled for proficient skills. So anything that you're proficient in, so nature, stealth, and survival, your proficiency bonus is doubled. So that means you're going to add another 3 to whatever roll you make for stealth, survival, or nature while you're in the forest.
Okay. Got it.
So that's one thing. And grasslands now, that's going to be the case too. So unless you're in the caves or on the mountains or in the swamp or something like that, you're pretty good in that way. In terms of halfling abilities,
Actually, I don't see it. It might not be a fifth edition
I don't
thing.
see it.
Yeah, it might not be a fifth edition
Yeah.
thing.
it might be a specific type of halfling.
It's okay. I'll chuck a rock anyway. What do I just roll? Just a,
I won't give you any disadvantage for the roll or any minuses to the roll. Just roll straight attack, like a strength. Just do a strength check. You hit it. In fact, the fruit explodes with the impact from the rock.
Yavrik just sighs, and he goes and see if he's pick a little piece of it off the ground from something to kind of taste it and see what it tastes.
It seems like the fruit was very ripe, and looking at the fruit, it was hollow inside, with fruit along the rind, and the way it exploded when the rock hit it, you're sure that if the arrow had hit it, the same thing would have occurred. So you hit it right. If it had fallen on the ground, like if you had hit the stem and landed on the ground, it would have probably exploded too. So whatever is the case with these fruits, it seems like they're pressurized.
I'll have to devise a way to harvest these as we go. Yarvik's just gonna kind of continue to think about the best way to try to harvest one of these fruit, and continuing to pick berries.
Okay. All right, so the party continues traveling while foraging for food and keeping watch. Let's see here. Roger, with your perception check, you notice some small monkeys that are swinging through the trees in various areas of the forest every once in a while. They make similar sounds to the whooping you heard last session, but not anything like those whooping sounds. So it seems for now their alerts are not necessarily for fear of any danger.
Elsie, it's your people.
What do you mean by that? These are monkeys, not half-elves. Oh, I get it. Oh, man. Wow. I don't know whether to be offended or delighted, but I'm a little bit of both.
Look at how effortlessly they swing through the trees and make loud screeching sounds.
Ooh, that gives me an idea. Unless someone's gonna stop me. I could always go to the tree canopy and see if we're anywhere close to the edge of this terribly scary jungle. I would like to try to climb up the trees to see what's up.
Halfway up, Yarvik's gonna yell at him, "Hey, give me one of those fruit!" but be careful because they might explode. But they're really good.
Yeah, so I guess I never described the flavor of the fruit that you tried. It's spicy, but sweet at the same time.
It's not orange, is it?
No.
So,
It's not like any fruit you've had before, but it's got a very like sweet taste with a kick to it. It's spicy too.
probably make jam out of it.
Does it feel like it's eating the flesh of the inside of your mouth?
If no, then it's not Carolina Reaper fruit.
No, capsaicin isn't flesh dissolving. You're thinking like pineapple is flesh dissolving.
I see.
It's like Szechuan peppercorn. It makes your mouth go numb.
Yeah, capsaicin attacks your nerves. It basically just stabs your nerves over and over again with the "ow, it's hot" response, which is totally independent from the "ow, it's cold" response, which is why icy hot works.
Icy hot doesn't taste as good as the peppers.
No.
All right, so the party stops as our monk begins climbing.
Be right back. Belzian says, not me.
Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah.
Ooh, ah. What about a bing man is going on up here?
Give me a athletics check, please.
I can climb these trees. I could probably pull these trees out of the ground.
All right. Belzian, most of these trees, being that they're so old and it's a pretty thoroughly grown jungle, there's many vines along the trunks of the trees. You notice as you go up that some of the vines have wrapped so strongly around the trees that they're on that they've actually choked and killed the trees. So you have a bunch of new trees, and you have a bunch of old trees, and then you have a bunch of dead trees.
That's gnarly.
In fact, the reason why that canopy was broken in the area you were at was probably because a tree had died and fallen, and nothing had grown to replace it as of yet. Seems like this jungle is in a constant state of death, rebirth, and growth.
The forest of life, huh?
About 3/4 of the way up is where these explosive fruits that Yarvik found are. They appear to be green with red bands on them in a spiral pattern.
They look really fruity. Is it possible to do some sleight of hand to gather up a bunch of this?
I don't know if sleight of hand's the right thing, but let me look here. So sleight of hand is a dex.
It would be kind of like pickpocketing a tree.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I'll give you a sleight of hand. That's fine. I like your explanation enough.
Thanks. 17.
Okay, you gingerly try pulling the fruit from the branch and find that it's hard to bring it off of the vine itself that it's growing off of. Or I guess, not the vine's not the right word, but the bloom. You notice that it's connected to a red flower that the fruit kind of blooms off of.
Brightly colored plant. That certainly couldn't mean any danger. Can I yell down to the party? This fruit looks a little suspect, folks. Do you think I should take it anyways?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Try it.
Yeah,
See what
whatever y'all
happens.
want to assess.
I've read about this democracy
I
before,
mean-
and it seems like a good idea.
Up to you.
All right. Belzian will attempt to take the fruit.
Okay. Are you pulling it? Are you cutting it?
Uh,
Are you twisting
I
it?
don't have any cutting implements, so you know how you pick like a blackberry in a way that you don't also impale your hand on the blackberry vine. What's that, like pluck,
Okay.
I suppose, but at the base of where the fruit is connected to the tree or plant.
All right. You pull the fruit some more and give it a great tug while trying to be delicate about it. You find that it's hard to be both at the same time, and eventually you just give it a good tug and it pops off, and you hear the rush of, it seems like air coming out of it. There's a hole at the top that the air is escaping from, and you now have a spirally red-green fruit.
Just deflate like a balloon.
It didn't deflate, just the air that was built up inside of it, or whatever gas is in there, rushed out and is now outside of the fruit.
Okay, that's exciting. Hopefully foraged enough to provide us somewhat of a meal for the coming days and climb back down the trees if I can't get.
Do you just grab one, or are you going to try and grab a few?
Yeah, grab at least 6. One per
Okay. So to give you perspective, the fruit is the size of a small gourd. So it's larger than an apple or an orange,
Like a
but
melon.
smaller than a pineapple, or yeah, it's kind of melon-like. I guess coconut is a similar size, not the small rind part of the interior, like the nut part itself. It's between that smaller version of the coconut and the wider meat of the coconut, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So like bigger than a fist for sure, but maybe not bigger than your.
For sure, absolutely. Yes, not bigger. Yeah, between fist and head size.
Is it bigger than a bread box? So would I be able to fit half a dozen of these, like in the pouches of a robe?
Yeah, you could
and/or
probably fit
satchel?
6 in your satchel, but it's going to be full. You wouldn't be able to get any more.
That's fair. Is there any way to get up more? You said there was a big, thick canopy, but is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
you've climbed up a similar canopy not a day ago. So the only thing is that you found that the trees are still slick from yesterday's rain. So you have to be careful, but you managed to get up into the canopy, and you can kind of see out and around you. As the tree branches are still thick, close to the center of the tree, so you can even be up top of the canopy, unlike like a normal tree that you're used to back in Seregen that would kind of the trunks didn't go quite so high.
These trees are thick. All right. Can I see any sign of whooping monkey type things or the edge of the forest?
You do see the edge of the forest to the northeast. In fact, you also see huge mountains rising out of the forest. In fact, the forest kind of goes up the mountains themselves a bit before you can see that the mountains themselves are bald on top. They become too rocky to support a jungle. Some of the lower mountains to the due east of you are fully covered. They seem like large mounds of jungle, but the kind of the spine of this mountain kind of juts out of the forest like the great back of some creature.
Interesting. Am I able to determine how far away it is? Like on the horizon, or like maybe a couple days?
The closest mountain to you is about 30 miles away. Like from peak. So like the incline, you can see that you're already starting the incline into these mountain regions.
That might explain why the water was flowing one way.
And you notice that the map that we have here is not completely accurate to what you're seeing. And if you recall, I did say that the forests are kind of extra information that isn't necessarily exact. So the trees break in this map to show that there's a mountain, but the mountains themselves seem to inhabit more of the forest. So the forest isn't going to break when you get to the mountains.
So it's not like a clear-cut tree line, like a
Correct.
perfectly pruned forest or something.
Getting Gorillas in the Mist vibes.
All right, Belzian would like to carefully navigate back down to the ground and share all of this information. And the fruit.
As you head back down, you do spot some of the monkeys you were looking for picking fruits. They pull the fruit off and then blow it at each other and laugh and slap their knees mirthfully. One takes the air from the fruit as it's escaping it when he picks it and sucks it in, and the sound that it makes is quite higher than the normal sound that it would normally make. The screech is high-pitched. The rest of the monkeys laugh mirthfully along with him.
That's awesome. Well, folks, take a look at these crazy fruits. When you pluck them from their home, you can swallow the gas that comes out. It'll make you sound like a crazy person with a super high-pitched voice, like a babe.
Belzian carefully climbs back down and returns to the group.
That's weird.
Is it weird or is it funny? I think it's pretty neat.
I mean,
Can be
things can
both.
be two things, yeah.
The properties that would let us potentially change our voices could be a useful tool in our travels. Do you think it would be worth it to try to harvest a more complete version of the berry bush, tree, vine thing?
Save some seeds for sure.
Yeah, Belzian also shares the information about the map and like how the forest doesn't just magically end.
So do we want to, knowing that we're going into heavily forested and heavily vertical mountains by the sound of it, do we still want to kind of skirt the edge of the mountains, or do we want to go see what's up there?
Looks like we're going to be in trees for a little while longer either way, but if you're looking for a change of pace, there does seem to be a rocky road.
You know, I remember this old saying that it's always better to have the high ground. So
I'm with Zippo.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
And
All right, so I guess we'll continue on. Just make a beeline for the mountains and see where it goes.
Looks like things are looking up for us, fellows.
I'm actually looking
I'm
down
inclined to
right now.
agree.
I know we've been punning a lot today, and I'm not here to discourage it whatsoever. In fact, I'd like to give everyone, if you don't have it, inspiration for, first of all, because it's our year anniversary, but second of all, because I do enjoy pun. So,
Hooray!
That's why we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons indeed.
Curious, who did not have inspiration already?
I spend mine as soon as I get it, basically every time. So I definitely didn't.
That
I
seems
remember
wise.
spending mine in order to guarantee that I burned someone with a fire spell.
Okay.
You could say inspiration burns a hole in my pocket.
Inspiration burns a hole in everybody's pockets when Zippo's around.
True. Because
Well,
I
that-
remember
well,
all
that's
you said for
Zippo.
me as well.
Really, Zippo burns a hole in everyone's pockets with his inspiration.
Yeah, it's just him just burning a hole in your pocket. It's fine.
Zippo burns.
To go off of new abilities gained, it's shockingly true.
That's enlightening.
Oh.
I'm already regretting my decision to give you guys all the inspiration. You might say that these puns are overcasting anything that I could come up with tonight.
Hey, we're not trying to punish you, buddy.
So we continue going northeast toward the mountains is what I'm hearing, correct?
Yeah, we want to escape the thunderstorm.
Okay.
I want more thunderstorm. That's why I'm going to the mountains. Closer up, I bet thunderstorms.
As you go farther northeast, you do indeed start seeing glimpses of the inclined area. In fact, you start beginning to have a little bit more effort to go the same amount of distance, even at a slow pace, because the incline creates that, extra effort. If you're walking flat terrain, it's a little harder than going uphill. Every once in a while, you take breaks to look around. With the I'm gonna say, now that we're in a newer area, I'd like those who are making perception checks to make new ones.
A little better that time.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Elzian's still thinking of cookies.
So Ulrich, and only Ulrich, you get this. So you don't see anything, but you do smell the smell of smoke. It's not like a thick smoke, you just get a wisp of smoke. Maybe a campfire or something small, but it's not like a big fire. Since the wind is kind of picked up a tad in this area because you're a little higher up, it could be coming from the north or the northwest.
Someone's maybe got a campfire around here northwest of us. Keep an eye out, maybe. But we're heading kind of northeasternly, so we're just gonna
Yes.
try and keep that to our left.
Okay.
Should we not head towards it?
We send
Had
smoke
great
signals?
experience heading towards it.
I mean, I guess we could if you wanna see what it's about.
Yeah, why not?
When in doubt, see what it's
on our
about.
way, right?
So worst could happen. They could just be, giant badgers or something.
They could be trying to find the secret tunnel through the mountain.
Alright.
Secret.
Alright, well, let's veer west a little bit then. Still bearing north mostly, though.
We don't have a specific goal. We can just see what things are when something interesting catches our attention on the horizon. What passes
Yeah,
for a
fair.
horizon in forest this thick?
Alright, so we start heading that way. Kind of northwest-ish. I would say leaning more on the north side.
We are zigzagging
Okay.
through this forest.
Yeah.
All right. So while we head north, looking for a campfire, I think this is a good point to take our 10-minute break. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we'll meet back here at 9:01. Does that sound good to everyone?
Sounds good.
All right. We'll be right back, guys. Sit tight. And in the meantime, enjoy some sweet tunes by none other than Amadeus himself. And we are back from our break. Welcome back, everyone. So last we left off, we were traveling north, investigating the smell of smoke. So we as a group travel north for, I'd say, about half an hour to an hour. Ulrich, you don't get any more whiffs of said smoke. What are you looking for as you're traveling along?
Oh, I mean, if I don't smell smoke, I suppose I'm kind of keeping an eye out for any sign of flame, be that smoke or an actual fire itself. And of course, any movement that looks ambulatory.
Sounds good.
Bipedal, specifically.
Watch them have
By
legs.
beetle.
Mm-hmm. Looking for 2 legs rather than, 4. Less concerned with 4-leg creatures.
What if it's a centaur?
Well, then I guess I will have been shown in my biases. But,
Oh,
kind of expecting that it's going to be humans based on our meeting with Viren.
Centaur could be pretty cool, though.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to meet some centaur around here, but I'm just kind of
Would-
expecting.
Ulrich, you do sound a little hoarse.
I mean, there were some centaur in Seregen, in this central Seregen lands. You might even say that they're a centaur piece of our kingdom. But all jokes aside, I've met a centaur before. They're strange people.
would it be weird to ask one if you could ride it?
I wouldn't suggest it.
Oh,
It seems a little insensitive, wouldn't you say?
no, that's why I ask.
Well, I mean, would you mind if I asked if I could ride you?
I would not. Jump on, friend.
I think
If
there
your legs
is
are
kind of
tired.
like an age height difference kind of thing, maybe. Also, maybe like a friendship thing. Like if Zippo asked me, I'd be all right with it.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. Our friend Roger here suggested that you might be related to the monkeys, and you were somewhat offended before you realized the joke, right?
It's because they're not the same race as me at
Not
all.
horses.
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
Wait. You're all so wise, and I have so much to learn.
Just be careful who you learn it from.
Well, thank you for those insights.
So, I gotta say, how long have we been walking actually?
About an
About
hour.
an hour.
Or you mean for today?
Since smelling the smoke.
Oh, about an hour, yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if I don't really feel like I'd just be smelling smoke more than an hour away. You get what I'm saying? So if we're really keen to find whoever made the fire, I imagine we should probably, I don't know, double back a little bit, head a little more west this time. But maybe I'm wrong.
I don't want to wander around too far.
Let me, Yarvik is going to try to do, what would that be, a survival or check or a perception check to see if he can, use some orienteering skills.
Trying to find the fire in the jungle stack?
Yeah.
Yeah, survival, probably would be your best bet. Alright, your gut tells you that if, you can smell smoke, but not see the smoke, smoke generally rises, so the best place to kind of see where smoke might be coming from is by doing what Belzian has done in the past and trying to see it from the canopy, since you don't have much visibility down here.
All right, so, but I'm going to try to give it a climb. So athletics, is that?
Yes.
I can help you out if you'd like with a boost.
Sure.
Can I use the help action?
I don't think you can really help him climb. I don't think that's something you can really assist athletic-wise. Unless you were climbing with him and you pointed exactly where the handholds would be, so he'd have advantage on the roll.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
You're on your own, friend.
Jaeger, I'm going to say you start to climb and you don't really feel sure-footed enough as you grasp onto the vines that are almost as wide as your hand, so it's hard to grasp them. And you quickly realize that at least how you're attempting to do it is not working.
Okay, I'm out. I tried.
Sure, it's smoke and not some kind of mysterious fog.
I can't really say I've smelled much fog before.
Bless you.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't succeed at it. We were heading out, trying to get out of the forest anyway. Might as well keep heading north then.
Are we going north, northwest, or west?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Or east.
we're originally
Or-
heading
Just make
northeast.
circle at this point.
We really like this forest. We're on lap to.
This is our victory lap after killing the Manticore. We're just gonna walk around in a giant circle.
Maybe we'll fight.
You're like
Manticore.
tramping through the Manticore's territory, being like, ha 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 ha.
Got him.
It's like the National Lampoon's lap or the Indiana Jones map. You see the red line, but then it just starts just going all squiggly.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess back north, back to our original track.
So, are you going back this way to the east, or are you continuing north? North.
I think bear northeast just a little bit because that was our original path.
Sure, northeast it is.
Like that.
That's north.
Well,
Northeast.
yeah, a
is
little more like
here.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Somewhere in that ballpark.
All right. As you're getting closer to the mountains, you find that the terrain is a bit more rocky. The trees are still growing out of the rocky terrain without hindrance. It seems like great rocks have been kind of uprooted and strewn about as these trees have grown out of the rocky ground. The wood itself reminds you very much, Ulrich, of your trees back home. These are hardwood trees, like very hardwood, almost ironwood, probably, of the ironwood variety. So, your family specialized in lumbering the tall trees of the forest, some of them being a rich mahogany-like type wood, and one that was a much more sturdy wood for building. These trees were rare in your area, so you had to cultivate them fairly regularly and make sure that only a certain amount were cut each year, making that lumber rarer and more costly, and one of the reasons why the oaken shields garnered their name. But here, they are common.
Yeah, well, I just got a dent in the old pocket if we if others get their hands on this, but that is what it is.
I guess it's fortunate that these lands belong to the Axe clan. Or maybe unfortunate.
Oh no, I'd say it's, well, I mean, I'd say it's fortunate, but I don't know. That's pretty optimistic, Jordan. I know we're out here trying to be diplomatic, theoretically, but can't say that I've really known many in power not to seek more power. And that means more control.
Could have Zippo burn down all the competition. Just saying. Just burn it all out.
That is not what I was saying. I was just kind of speculating that X Clan might have it now, someone else will have it later. Maybe.
Likely there would be an Axe Clan 2.0 of some sort in the future.
Yeah.
They may have well replaced whatever their predecessor was.
Or, Seregen is maybe looking to expand. Who knows?
feel like that's a good way to start a war.
Yep.
That's what we all need is a good war.
Aw, man, we just had a war.
We've had first war, yes, but what about second war?
Yeah, I mean, a war's not a war unless you have at least 3 in a row.
We were just fighting ourselves anyways.
That
tried to keep
barely
it civil.
counts.
Well, hopefully, I'm wrong and everything just continues on the way it is and everyone gets along real nice and friendly and...
We will see.
Hey, maybe the Axe Clan is looking for some adventurers to solve some short-term problems.
Well, we'll just have to axe them. This is northeast, right? Yeah, good.
All right, so as you head northeast, maybe a half hour later, you find yourselves coming to what seems to be an overlook. So it's about here. You're at the top of a hill before the mountains proper. But the hill is sloped on one side and ridged on the other. So you come to basically a straight decline. The good news is it breaks the tree cover enough that you're able to see kind of your surroundings to the north, east, and north. But you'll probably have to navigate around it or climb down it. And if you climb down it with horses, obviously that's not going to work out too well. So the area around you seems to be fertile with life. You kind of see a valley laid out before you before the rise of the 3 mountains to the north, east, and south of you. The tree... the trees are... Give me a second, guys. My wife's bringing something to my attention. I'll be right back.
Mountain.
Get ready to do some hardcore mountain climbing.
Oh, yeah.
What do we have for mountaineering? We have
Really
probably
good.
about 50 feet of rope each.
Yeah, that's enough to climb like at least a 50-foot mountain 6 times. One
The horses,
300-foot mountain.
The horses can walk vertically.
If Skyrim has taught me anything, it's that horses can do whatever you tell them to.
Just glitch through the mountain walls. Let's go.
I mean, just have the horse double jump.
I would like to try to double jump. Pardon? So what level do we get triple jump at?
We get it at level 22, I believe.
Alright, so maybe next session. Gotta shoot a few more manticores.
Yeah, just a couple.
At least one of us is pretty okay at survival. I don't know if we're going to be going over any mountains. Maybe
It's good
3.
to have a ranger.
Rangers are seriously underappreciated. We appreciate our ranger.
Or a sausage too with ranger.
Maybe we could make a giant mountain climbing rope out of sausage links.
So we all just, like, as we're climbing, right? We all rolled nat 20s to roll up the mountain.
It was pretty amazing that we all got 20s and it didn't show up on D&D Beyond. It just disappeared as soon as our DM came back.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. Sorry about that. We're having trouble with the ceiling fan. It's malfunctioning.
Remember, always keep your
And-
fans firmly in Twitch chat where they belong.
You gotta check those ceiling fans. If unchecked, they might make your house fly away.
If they're facing the wrong direction, they will.
Yeah.
All right. Rolling 20. Haha. All right. So, as I was saying, the canopy is kind of below you, so it kind of looks like a carpeted green forest below you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see much breaks in the trees, so it just kind of seems like a solid line of, leaves, almost like a grassland if you didn't know any better. The mountains, obviously, Belzian's description is now a bit closer. The mountains are fairly substantial. They rival many of the mountains that are in the Jane and Gideon mountain range. I would say Dis has a larger mountain range, but it's much smaller. Like, so the mountains are taller in Dis, Zippo, but they don't match width-wise, if that makes sense.
So it's like a better homey feeling.
Yeah, if it weren't for all the trees, since the mountains of Dis are in a much drier, arid climate, and not as much life as this, if that makes sense.
Too much nature.
Yeah, there's much more nature here. Anybody making any perception checks while we're at this overlook, or what's the next step? What are you guys planning on doing?
I'd like to make a perception check to see if we can spot the source of that smoke that we chased for a hot minute.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm always in for looking harder.
I'll even
The
do that
D20
thing
that I
where
roll, however, may or may not provide.
you just gotta you gotta shade your eyes with your hand over
I don't see. I'm looking at a necklace still. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm looking at. My eyes are closed. It's just pitch black.
Zippo half-heartedly is looked up for a moment at everything and then just went back to his he didn't really have it in him. Or no, he looked up, realized it was way too sunny, and then looked back at his necklace. Alright, if that's everyone who's doing perceptions, Belzian, since you have looked at these mountains before, the only distinct change you see is that there are columns of smoke, like solitary columns of smoke, dotting the horizon. There seems to be some kind of dotting along the edge of the mountain range. They grow higher and higher until they reach the topmost mountains. They seem to be at the highest points in the mountains. And you count at least 11 different columns of smoke. None of them appear close by here. They all appear to be within the mountain range.
Interesting. I point them out to the party. Point at them. Can you see that? You see these smoky things? What do you make of them?
So now that Belzian points them out, you can see them, and you can see why you missed them. They're very thin lines of smoke because of how far away they are. You know, they're miles away from you.
Yeah, I can totally see those.
Do you think pillars to the heavens?
Only way to know for sure would be to climb one, right? Interesting that there's only 11. If they were related to the clans, I would expect there to be 12 of them. Unless the one clan that Piran wouldn't tell us about isn't around anymore for some reason.
We Piran ate them.
He was a were-lion. But just like Vort.
Just like Ford.
Could be they're having a civil war of their own over here.
Sure.
Or somebody
I
just
think
forgot
we
to
should
light fire that
investigate.
way.
When in doubt, be
Yeah,
nosy. That's what I always say.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that I was wrong. Here I said wouldn't be more than an hour walk. There's smoke.
You got a strong nose, Ulrich.
Pretty good nose.
It's all that fine dining you did in your youth as a nobleman.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard about. Maybe I saw an advert. It was for some kind of breakfast ration, and the slogan was "When in doubt, follow your snout," or something like that.
That does make sense.
I don't have a snout, but if I did have one, I would follow it when I was in doubt.
Roger, I'll say with your perception check, since you weren't looking out on the horizon, you didn't see any of these smoke stacks. I guess is smoke lines, smoke pillars, whatever you want to call them. What you did notice is things that are a little bit closer to the party down in the valley. It seems like there's a lot of rock formations that dot the valley. They look like some of them used to be large statues that have fallen into disrepair or been broken. There's a variety of them around, and like you can see one actually cut into the cliff below you. It doesn't seem to have like an entrance or anything like that. They all seem to be ornate looking. You don't see any organization or pattern to them, at least from where you stand.
What are they statues of?
Humanoid figures, large humanoid figures.
So maybe this is the Rock Clan. right in front of us on the ground.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
I'm not sure how they attend the clan meetings, but maybe they're just not held very often.
Be they roll.
Well, best not to take all of these statues for granted.
That's some solid advice.
So do you think perhaps they're literal people made out of stone? Or
Highly
just
doubt it.
monuments to former clansmen or something?
Or maybe they're all former clansmen who've been turned to stone by basilisks.
True.
Maybe it's like a hero's hall, and the stone statues are like their way of honoring people that have done great for their tribe.
It just would seem strange that they're all in disrepair if that's the case.
Maybe it's a disgraced heroes hall, so like they have the heroes hall, and then the people that are like, oh, they were a hero, but now we kind of forgot about them, so they're really not really important anymore, so they move out here to just get destroyed because it's too much work for them to destroy it themselves.
I see holes in this logic, but I don't have any counterpoints.
You don't have any counterpoint. You've got to study your Baroque.
Looking at the sun, it seems like we might be losing daylight soon. Do we want to go down into the valley today, or do you want to camp up here where we have an overlook of the valley?
If we camp up here and they all turn to life at night, then we can hide. I like camping up here.
Second that.
Hopefully nobody rolls over in their sleep and falls off the overlook.
Well, that's that's the price you pay when you're camping in a hard place. It's better than being caught between a rock.
Camping we shall go.
All right. So we make camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same watches.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, you don't sound that excited. I love watching.
All right. So, are you lighting a fire tonight?
What do we think, boys?
Seems
How
ill-advised.
close are we to the trees? Are we still in forest proper, or if we kind of?
You're still in the forest proper. You just have an overlook where the forest breaks because you're on a cliff.
We can probably put a fire out quickly enough if we have to. I'm okay with not having a fire if you guys are okay with not having a fire now.
Probably a good idea for this time around.
At 11 fires in the distance.
So, I'm sorry, I missed that. We've chosen not to, correct? Or have we chosen to light a fire?
Nay,
I think
I
that
would
was
say.
the not to.
Not to. Okay.
I think it was a nay.
Just making sure. I thought I had heard the opposite, so I think a word got cut off for me.
We asked little Belzy, and he said nay.
All right. So we all go to sleep, and Ulrich and Roger take first watch.
Watching as hard as I possibly can.
Apparently that didn't roll.
Not just at the stone statues that are totally not paralyzed things turned to stone by basilisks, but also at everything else.
Ulrich is also here.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so you keep watch over the cliffside and the area around you. It's a fairly clear night. The two moons are both out. Not full or anything like that, but they're both out. Much different from last night. The fires remain burning on the mountain, Roger. Every once in a while, one fire will flare up a bit before settling down, and the others will follow suit quickly thereafter. The fire that flares first is the one that's the topmost one up here. So the middle one in the center of the mountain line.
Interesting. Well, looks like whoever's in charge of those fires is taking their cues from the person with the tallest mountain. That or they're sending signals.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be signals.
Not at some kind of regular pulse, though, right? This is
Right.
just sort of random.
Sorry, I thought that was to me, but you're right. That is to the DM. Is this random?
It doesn't seem to be random. With your 30, you're fairly certain that it's always the topmost one that flares, and then the other ones follow suit.
No, I mean the timing of it. Is it just like once every couple of hours, or is it
I see.
Like at a steady pulse or something like that?
It occurs 4 times during your shift. Generally about the same measurement of time passes between each. So you anticipate once every 30 minutes.
Okay.
Without a watch from the gods and it being night, it's hard to tell the exact timing, but
Probably not a signal then if they're just refreshing fires every half hour, although that's kind of frequent.
Yeah.
If you build your fire correctly, it will burn for much longer than what you can do in 3 hours, in 30 minutes. But
Yeah, one would hope they know how to build fire.
I don't know.
Well, let's tell it to the next watch. Just have them keep an eye on it.
before you do, about an hour and a half into your shift, Roger, you spot the glow of maybe somebody carrying a torch. No, it's definitely larger than somebody. It's a group of people carrying torches in the valley, not directly below you, but out some, traveling from southeast to northwest through the valley. They seem to be going at a fairly quick pace and fairly direct.
Can I distinguish anything about them from this distance?
Since you can only see the glow because the trees are thick, you can't really see who's carrying the torches. You just can tell that it's torch light and that they're the direction of travel. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll point it out to Ulrich. Hey, there's a reason that we didn't want to keep the campfire lit, I guess. Looks like a lot of people.
Yeah, it sure does. Josh, just make sure, this direction, is this towards us since they're heading to the south?
It's going like so do
I mean,
like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So past
So
us.
from this direction to this direction.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, let's not draw their attention and make sure next watch knows about them too.
Indeed. We'll definitely point it out if they're still here.
Yeah.
They're still kind of traveling north west by the time it's time to wake up the next group.
Okay. Yeah, we let them know. I mean, in my estimation, they're doing a perimeter, so we let them know about them and mention it looks like perimeter work.
But what you're saying is it's just more friends we haven't met yet. We should go say hi, since they're already aware.
Well, let's meet them in daytime, is all I'm saying.
What if they're nocturnal people, though?
Well,
We'll be well rested and they won't be.
there you go.
We've been cutting quite a swath with pack horses and people trudging around the forest. If they want to find us, they'll be able to find us at their leisure.
Fair enough.
Well, if they come up here to say hello, we'll let you all know.
Sounds good. Enjoy your watch.
Enjoy resting.
No, I will.
We've got the party with torches, and we've got the possibly not random smoke signal type thing going on.
Yeah, I think I think the natives are definitely alerted to our presence. It's just, it's only a matter of time at this point.
You
The
think
signs
they're,
are too conclusive.
they're actively looking for us? You think?
I think so. Maybe you're rattling our cage, or maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know what to think. We do know that the people of this land kept the story of Seregen kind of alive, from what Piran said. So maybe they've been waiting for this day. Who knows?
So in a way, we're kind of legendary.
Hey, maybe we use that. You know,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
we have arrived. We are your gods.
Ooh.
Bring us exploding fruit and sausage.
You know what? I might be able to subscribe to that kind of thing. But, let's keep an eye on the situation for now.
Perception checks.
Ooh, 13.
So Jaeger, you keep an eye on the torch, the grouping of light that Roger pointed out to you. It goes ultimately. So I kind of exaggerated how far it was because I said this because I was just trying to show direction. It kind of started here and went along this way. When it got to about here, you can see that, right? It starts doubling back the other direction.
So I'm just gonna note that from what I can see, it looks like it would maybe almost be patrolling the base of the mountains.
Yeah, it looks like it.
A solid theory.
So we could either time it so we encounter them, or time it so we dodge them.
Depends on how big our openings would be as well.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'd do for the rest of the watch. Just keep an eye on that. Try to establish the timing, what that cycle looks like, and then pass that on to the oncoming group. That they don't seem to be coming this way. They seem to be, kind of maybe moving back and forth on our path.
Okay.
Share the data with the next group for sure.
All right. Before we break for the next group, Zippo is having some dreams. Zippo, your dreams are you're in a storm, and you're on a barren plain with the wind ripping at you. The sky swirls in a spiral pattern, and it glows a greenish color as lightning kind of perforates through it. You're alone. There's no one around you. The plain is barren, and the wind rips at you more and more, faster and faster. It feels almost as steady, as hazardous as the wind that whipped around you at Ground Zero when you destroyed the wall. But this seems like an urgent tugging, a tugging that bends you backward and forward, and you feel a painful sensation in your chest, and you look down and you realize that you're missing a piece of you. You look down at your chest and there's a hole missing, but it's not like a chunk of a hole. It's like an incision, like a circle in your chest that goes all the way through you. You can feel it coming at your back too. Somehow the flesh inside of the circle is still in the right spot, but like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a circle in your body that's missing, but the middle of the circle's still there.
Okay.
You find yourself screaming in pain as you see this, as you realize that part of you is missing, that it needs to be whole, and then you wake up because Belzian is shaking you awake.
What happened?
Well, you look like you were onto something happening yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lots of things going on over here in Zippo world.
Hmm. You want to talk about it?
Think about it.
Well, you could tell me in the morning.
Okie dokie.
Elsian will share the data of the last lookout to Jordan and Zippo.
Interesting. All right, we'll keep an eye out.
Okay. When I roll this perception check, is it in with disadvantage again?
It's nighttime, so you're fine.
Okie dokie. Hey.
Hey. This is our best watch yet. The patrol seems to go back the direction it came and disappears around a bend in the mountain range through the shift. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be much going on aside from the general noise of the forest.
Okay. I'm going to relay the information of the dream to Jordan. And ask for some fatherly advice.
As much as I am for stories, I've never been much of a dream interpreter. Have you ever dreamed like this before?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, that's pretty concerning. I haven't had any dreams like that, so I know it wasn't the wall, a side effect of destroying the wall for sure.
I think it might have something to do with the thing with the necklace.
Well, you have been kind of all consumed by it lately. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something to that.
Yeah. Seeing as you have watch covered, I'm gonna try to think on this, see if I can figure this out. And then Zippo will start focusing on the necklace again, and then remembering
Okay.
like when the lightning flashed, he felt like the power in him also surged a little bit. So he's gonna start trying to focus like on the necklace, but like with his power instead of like relying on nature. He's gonna think about like the inner power that he has when he's holding the necklace. Trying to like envision his
Okay.
power in going into the necklace and coming back out, kind of thing.
It seems like the current conditions are not enough for you to regain that connection to the amulet. Aside from the only time you've really been able to do it is when you felt enlightened enough to draw from it, gaining a level. But yeah, it seems like that connection you felt during those flashes of lightning was the closest you felt to being in contact with your amulet aside from when you draw levels from it.
Gotcha. Okay. With that feeling, I'll probably just do what I normally do and sit next to Jordan and stare at it for a while.
Okay.
Because I can't create storms, so.
Right. Do you want to do a check to see if you can interpret anything from the ring? Maybe Arcana?
Yeah. Oh. You know,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I'll use my inspiration and try to reroll that.
Okay.
A little better.
All right. You're not sure what all the elements of the dream are, but you do know that you get storm sorcery from the amulet, so the storm makes sense. But this green spiral in the sky reminds you of the way the amulet glows when you draw power from it, because it's also a spiral and it glows green. So perhaps the dream that you had was from within the amulet. And with that realization, day breaks.
Okay. Alright. Slowly getting put together. I'll give my realization to Jordan. Since I did also question him.
Do you think you should be telling anyone else about this? They might be able to add their opinions, maybe? He says quietly as the group starts waking up.
Probably should. Maybe it's a religious thing. I don't know a lot about that. So once like the full group wakes up, Zippo relay like the rundown for like the whole dream thing and like what he got from the dream and what he thinks it means to the rest of the group.
All right, so the group wakes up and Zippo's like, everyone gather around. I have some things to tell you about what's been happening to me lately. He retells just what he just said.
Again. You gotta stop feeding her that stuff, Zippo.
It's quite the interesting dream there. Perhaps not insignificant.
I mean, I don't know a lot about dreams, but you know, you kind of pinned a lot of hopes on something, Zippo, and it didn't really turn out the way you wanted it to be. Could it be, you feel like you're not complete anymore as a result? Is that anything?
So like, because I don't have my mastering or in that side of the power, I don't feel like a whole thing.
I mean, you know, you got a hole in your heart. Maybe your mind's just kind of putting that into something a little more literal.
Okay, so if we're thinking about it that way, then shouldn't that mean if I use like maybe if I just try to fill myself up with the power coming from the necklace instead, like if I just only think about it instead of contemplating what else I have?
I
Is that what?
mean, yeah, I guess you could do that, but do you need something else? Do you need to have like can't you be whole yourself? Do you need another part to be whole, or are you good enough?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, what do I know? You know?
I don't know how to answer that question, but I do think you are correct. There is only one Zippo. Therefore, I am the best Zippo by denomination.
Can't
Go.
argue with that.
So therefore, I should be perfect. I am perfect.
Well, I
mean, yeah.
perfect's a big, strong word. You are you, and that's great.
And if
But we
I
can
am
all-
me and I am controlling this power, then the power is already mine.
There you go. I like that. That's good right there.
Always leave room for self-improvement.
Yeah, I like that too.
Perfection is quitters talk.
You can shoot for the moons, but even if you miss, you'll still land
Probably
in the
hit
stars.
the other one.
Yeah, you got a 50-50 chance.
Fair, fair. That does make sense. I think I've learned a lot from asking you guys. I now know that I am the best Zippo by denomination. Therefore, I am perfect.
Again, we're using that word very liberally, but I think you're doing just fine, buddy. And you know, if your master left you, that's not your fault.
Their loss, really.
I know, if they'd have stayed, they could have met Jordan.
And the rest of us too.
Yeah, I guess.
But mostly Jordan.
But mostly Jordan.
Jordan makes a humble bow, as if he was performing on stage, with a slight genuine smile to it.
So any more guesses on the dream? Close. If not, we're going with my assumption of perfection.
Perhaps the real perfection is the friends you made along the way.
Yeah, he already mentioned Jordan.
Maybe it's the friends we have yet to meet. Like this patrolling group.
Speaking of, are
Seeing
they
as
still
I-
down there?
They went back whenever me and Jordan were on watch.
So I guess the question is do we push and go to meet them, or do we dodge them?
Before we do anything, give me 1 second. And Zippo will run over beside a tree and dig a little hole and take the ring he got from his master off and bury it in there. And then he'll come back. He's like, I don't need that anymore. I am already perfect.
All right. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I hope you're feeling well, Zippo.
Other than the dream, I feel good.
Well, if you become the storm donut of your dreams, we will support you.
I mean,
best we
What
can.
do you mean a storm donut?
I'm just gonna take one other, just kind of since we mentioned a storm donut. Maybe your calling is to be holy. You know, maybe you need to come out the paladin way.
I would burn when the first second I walked into a church over it.
There's lots of different kinds of paladins.
Yeah, there
Lots
sure
of different
are.
types of churches.
That's also true.
Generally, at least 12 different flavors.
I like lucky number 13 most of the time.
Hmm.
13 being me because I'm perfect, as we've established.
Yeah, again, it's
But I say yes, let's go meet these people. They obviously already know somebody's here since they patrolled last night.
Well, if we dodge them, we can always meet them later. But if we meet them
First-
now, then they'll already know we're here.
True.
see, I'm feeling pretty good about it, but like there's kind of a soundtrack in my mind a lot of times, and when we said they already know we're here, there was like a real deep down note. So now I'm a little worried. Um, but you know, let's go do it.
The mystical fail horn.
Wah. Air horns. Choo, 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 choo.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. I would
Yeah.
suggest we wait until they get a little closer, so then we can kind of meet them, and maybe if we can get a chance, even scope them out before they see us. I'm not saying we should ambush them, but we should probably ambush them.
Just surround them and prepare to ambush them, but not actually ambush them.
Make sure once we're all around them, we all scream ambush, so we know we're ambushing.
Yeah, we ambush them with peace.
Right? If they get upset, we say, just kidding. Just a prank.
It's just a prank, bro.
Yeah, start the situation off with a bit of levity, but also safety.
I'm nervous because Jordan is trying to hide.
Yeah, passive perception, Zippo, you definitely see Jordan trying to sneak over to where you buried the ring.
Jordan, you don't need to go get the ring.
Well, and he kind of looks embarrassed that you caught him.
It's okay, Jordan. I'll go unbury the ring and then just toss it in a random direction.
Well, I'm just saying, what if you need it later?
I don't need anything from there. She left me for a reason. She didn't need me, I don't need her.
I just thought it would be very poetic if we ever met her one day that we were able to use the ring against her in some way. I'm always thinking about the long story. Even if I never use the ring, at least I'd have it in case that eventuality happened. He kind of smiles bashfully.
I'm still debating if I should toss it or not. I guess, you know what, Jordan, you're kind of right. We may need it. But at the same time, I don't think I need it.
Well, if you'd like to, I'll hold on to it. And if you ever do, I'll give it back.
I'll just put it in my bag of holdings for now. That way I can draw it out fast. And
Fair enough.
it's out of sight, out of mind. So just go unbury it, I guess, and put it back in his bag of holding.
Alright, so Zippo is no longer wearing the ring his master gave him.
So, boys, let's head to this Smoky Mountain.
Onto the Great Smoky Mountains.
Alright, so how are you going, since there's a cliff in front of you between them? Which direction do you want to go? Right or left along the cliff?
Right's right. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah. Getting real sinister vibes from the left side,
Fair,
I'll
fair.
go wherever you guys go.
All right. So the group heads to the east.
Whoa, I thought we were going right.
Yeah.
Okay.
East is beast, as they always say.
All right. You start heading down the decline into the valley itself, slowly but surely. You never did answer Yarvik's question. Are you trying to avoid a patrol or meet a patrol?
I think we're trying to meet him at this point, aren't we?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we just want to be careful how we do that. So kind of set up and maybe find a place where we can observe them a little bit, see what we can learn before we make contact.
Okay. Um, as you head east down the incline into the valley, you spot one of the statues kind of haphazardly tilted at an angle between two great trees while you're traveling east.
I'll stop and check that out.
Oh, look, a statue.
So Zippo said he's going to go check it out. Anybody else going?
Let's investigate this statue.
If
Perhaps.
we're trying to be stealthy, Ulrich is going to hang back on that.
Okay. So Ulrich hangs out along the path that you were traveling.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang back as well. Kind of keep an eye.
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna let you guys investigate that.
It's just a pile
Okay,
of
so
rocks.
Zippo
What could-
and Belzian, go check it out.
I've seen statues up close before.
But have you,
Jordan comes
have
too.
you seen the statues of this foreign land?
Well, from far away, and that's kind of like seeing them up close, but further back.
You don't know that for sure. It'll be your loss.
The statue is weathered with age and overgrown at its base, although it seems like recently some of the vines have been chopped away to clear the face and torso of this sitting giant. And I say giant because it is an enormous statue of a person. But their features aren't just like, it's not like a human that's been made to scale larger. It has the features of a giant, where some of its features are more elongated than a human's would, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
More than just a human, like a humanoid.
Yes.
Peak.
The statue rises out of the canopy. It's so large. It's sitting on what appears to be an ornately carved throne. It's a male figure with a beard and an axe sitting in its lap.
Is looking on the statue, like around it and stuff. Does there seem to be like any like? I guess the best thing is, can I make like a perception or investigation check to see if I see any like possibly like hidden spots and or like a keyhole or something?
Sure.
Investigation was not great.
So your investigation uncovers that there are vines on the ground that have been cleared recently, but not within the last day, probably because they are kind of dead looking. So somebody maintained this statue fairly recently to clear away the visuals of it, but the back of the chair is still overgrown, and so are the legs, and so on. It's all a solid piece, so it's not like a chair in terms of like you can see under or anything like that. It does definitely seem to be carved, not something that's been turned to stone.
Gotcha. Okay.
This looks like a big sculpture.
Yes. Maybe like a rock outcropping that has been carved into this shape. It doesn't look like it was placed either.
An interesting place to put something like this. He has an axe in his lap.
Yes.
I think we did read in a book one time of a very important axe to the barbarians of Relic.
Yeah, but it would have turned to a book already. Because I remember the book saying that the people that had theirs, then the other clans, their sacred items would turn into books now, and then that book would be something they could read. And the book that we got said it has no idea what the other book said, just that they would turn into books at the same time.
Presumably, this carving isn't the real axe that mentions.
Fair.
Maybe. Who do you think this is?
Somebody of importance, but probably not like of importance, if you get what I'm saying, because it is kind of leaning, so.
Do there appear?
Obviously, someone finds it important because it's been cleared. But, why in the middle of this valley?
And why only the face was it? Why was only the face and like those kind of features cleared, not like the whole statue? Because the whole back and legs are still covered in vines.
Are the feet covered?
Yes.
Does there appear to be any inscriptions anywhere? Or like a plaque?
Give me an investigation.
Gladly.
There is no plaque, but there does appear to be evidence of potentially something had been inscribed at the feet. You can see behind the vines that there is a damaged area of the statue.
But maybe like something's been pulled out. Or
It looks more like it was impacted.
somebody taking a few whacks at our new buddy here. Maybe. Tis strange.
And you said it was like a pretty big statue. So like us standing next to it, how I'm assuming Belzian is the tallest out of us all three. So how high does Belzian go up on it? Like, can he see onto the lap, or does he have to like look up to get looking into the lap?
You can see the axe kind of sticking out of the lap, because it's a large axe. But you can't really see in the lap. You know what I mean? It's fairly tall. You'd have to step back pretty far to get a full look at the statue, and even then, it's still at a more intimidating angle, shall we say, for someone of your stature.
Okay. And how far up do the vines go? That are
About 15 feet.
Like,
before they've been cut away.
do they still reach up to like the lap level, or is it like right before the lap?
It's before the lap.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, it's more like 10. The lap's about 15 feet up.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
You
Well-
think if they maintained this statue, they would have, gotten rid of all the vines. But perhaps the customs here are different.
Yeah. It's just kind of odd for them, like, because it's been at least 3 days since they cleared it. But I don't see any, like, view of constant travel here, so. Maybe. Okay, Zippo's gonna try to climb the statue to see if he can get up into the lap of it.
Okay.
What would that be? Acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics.
I got a 16.
Okay. You're able to clamber up to the lap.
Okay.
So in the lap is a great axe with 2 blades of equal length on either side. Whether through weathering or whatnot, one of the blades is cracked some from age. The beard and detailing of the face are much more detailed than the rest of the body.
Okay. Okay. Looking around up here, and looking out since I'm 15 feet up higher now. Do I see like I guess like any symbolism on like any of the items, like on the axe or anything, like anything that would give us like maybe like a who's who kind of thing, or like like, oh, this guy must have been important because he had like some kind of signet or something of like which tribe he was from, maybe. Assuming axe, but
I mean, that is a safe assumption because he has an axe in his lap, but you're not sure how literal the statue is. Yeah, he's not wearing like a crown or like any symbols that connotate a specific tribe. I mean, he has like a necklace that kind of is obscured by the carved beard some, but it doesn't have any ornate patterns on it. It just is a simple carving of a necklace. And obviously you don't see a pendant because the pendant would be behind the beard. The face is looking out, not down. So it doesn't even seem like it's like a worship spot. Like most worship spots, the statue is meant to look toward the worshippers. At least that's traditionally what seems to be the case. Like all the dragon statues that you kobolds have always been like a dragon looking down at where the altar's base is. So.
okay. If I look in the direction the statue is looking, do I still just see a bunch of canopy?
So you just see you're looking out toward the group that was left behind.
Okay.
So the other 3 members of the group.
Okay.
How's the weather up there, Zippo?
Very strange. Very strange. I don't think we're going to get anything from the statue, so I guess we can go on. At least we know people visit this. So if we have to like absolutely make contact with somebody, we could probably wait here and find them.
Another mystery, it seems.
Seems this place is full of them.
Yep, it's just a big
All
statue.
right.
Before I go, I know Zippo has a scroll of mold earth.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just double checking what that spell does. Uh, okay. It's more for like loose soil and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, never mind. Yeah, Zippo will try to slowly climb down.
Okay. You climb down using the same check, and meet back up with Balzian and Jordan.
All right, yeah, I guess we can head on back to the group and head out of here.
Indeed. It was just a statue.
Yeah, could never be too safe though. Always got to check it out.
What do you think, Jordan?
Let's do a... The only thing I know about giants is that they were fearsome creatures in every story I've heard of them. That there's a statue of one here could mean one of two things. One, this giant was a ruler. Two, this giant was feared. Either way, it doesn't seem to apply much in current circumstances. But somebody holds a torch for this statue. No pun intended.
Well, guess we can head back to the group then.
It's okay, gang. The statue didn't come alive and kill us all.
Yeah, that's good. At least. Learn anything, see anything.
Somebody takes care of the statue.
That makes sense. Well, should we continue on, try and find this patrol?
Yeah.
Maybe those are the people that were taking care of the statues.
That would
So
also
that
make
was
sense.
looked like it was cut like 3 days ago, not recently.
Well, there are a lot of statues down here. They can't possibly have done them all in case they were traveling.
That's true.
Right.
So yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Will we continue?
Alright, so you continue?
The
Alright. You continue on and are heading toward the direction, I guess, that you saw the scouting or patrolling or the other party go last night. So you make your way through the woods. Yarvik, I need you to make a survival check just for leading the party. And don't forget to add 3 to that, so that's a 14, right?
Right.
All right. So, around midday, you've by now gotten used to seeing evidence of civilization throughout this area. Every once in a while, you see a column that's mostly broken, or a patch of stone cobbled road that kind of shows evidence of itself before falling back away to earth and roots as you're traveling along. None of which are really along your path. You're kind of going one direction and trying to stay to that, I assume. You could probably investigate, after Zippo's investigated one ruin, you could probably investigate every ruin in this area and have similar results. Most of them are the same statue repeated. Sometimes it's a different face or a different weapon that the statue is holding, but they're generally very similar in artistry. And all of them have broken bases where a placard might have been. That has been shattered long ago. And by long ago, I don't mean like a year ago or 4 years ago. These statues reek of old. They're ancient. Just by their weathering and how settled everything looks in this area, how the sands of time have shown that even stone as ornately carved as this cannot, hold back the process of time and erosion. Is anybody, as we get further into this valley, doing any perception checks, or are we just kind of traveling along? Like, what's everybody's plan as we go through this valley? Roger automatically rolls 1, of course.
As fun as it would be to rely on my passive perception, I like rolling things below a 10 sometimes.
Fair enough.
It keeps the party on their toes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to
I'm rolling a 6.
make some kind of history check to see if there's anything back in the old country that would be similar to these kind of statues, or in the history of Seregen?
Okay. Give me a history check.
That being said, I as a player don't know all of the history of Seregen.
Right. So the pillars and the statues. Wait a minute. These pillars that have been dotting the area and some of the ruins remind you of something. That ferry that you crossed the river. The stone is not the same color, but it looks very similar in terms of how it was shaped, how it was formed and carved.
A similar type of architecture or style.
Yes.
Belzian points this out to everybody. Doesn't it seem uncannily familiar?
It would seem.
Yeah.
Guess this is a pre-wall empire, whoever these people were.
I mean, Roger did say that the pillars were from the giants.
Called it.
Right. So,
Have you been holding out on us, Roger?
I'm exactly the height that you see here and not an inch taller.
I mean, what would that really mean for us, do we think?
Would you describe the ferry that we took as somewhat magical?
I mean,
Yeah.
naturally, yeah.
Yes. Perhaps the barbarians moved in and settled in an older empire's lands, an older, more magical empire.
Or maybe they are the older, more magical empire.
True, barbarian doesn't mean that they're just strictly non-magical. It does give us a little bit more of a clue of what we might hope to expect as we go.
True. What I was thinking about whenever you mentioned it, and now too, so I would like to find out who has the book for the barbarian side.
And what
That
it
would
said?
be, and definitely what it says.
Yeah, I would have guessed whoever's closest to the wall, right? I mean, really, it's just not appearing in someone's hands at random.
I mean, ours did.
Was it random? I mean, we kind of broke the wall.
Yeah, but the item that is of importance, like, obviously they know some things about what was beyond the wall, because Perrin did. So if all their stories are passed on, like he said, the item of importance would be a treasure. So what clan has it? What clan got the book? And what are they telling the other clans, if anyway?
That's right. You're right. It's whoever has
And
that treasure, because our treasure would have been the scepter, right? So
yeah, and by technicality, ours is technically wasn't random because I mean anybody could have killed him and took it, and then I mean probably not anybody would have walked up to the wall, but like in the years that we've had the scepter too, who's to say that like somebody didn't try to steal it once and swap it out more than what he did?
it's certainly possible.
I mean, probably nobody else could have went through the wall though, unlike the perfect me and Jordan. But
Right.
I mean, for as much as they might know, they just think Piran sneezed it down.
I doubt anybody other than Kieran thinks that.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
True. I'm interested in finding out what their book says for one, and two, if what they say about the vampires is actually true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're gonna have a long while before we go see the vampires. At this rate.
Yeah. Also interested in finding out if Kieran's whole clan was were-lions. Thinking back now, I don't think they would be. Maybe that's why they kicked him out. It's because he ain't got infected with the were-lion disease. And so they're like, that's kind of like a curse, but get out of the village. Or they all are. He just so happens to be crazy at the same time.
did mention that a lot of the tribes people would communicate their allegiance through tattoos on their arms. And he himself did not have any tattoos.
Yeah, he did say he was kicked out and couldn't speak about it.
Maybe he refused to choose allegiance with any of the clans.
Fair.
Or turning into a were-lion gets rid of your tattoos. I don't know.
Other things that are new. That is, yeah. I don't know.
Anyone else looking out for anything?
As the group has been talking, Roger has broken from the group some and headed a little bit further east. Although I don't know if I was meant to point that out since Roger stealthed.
It's fine. None of us saw it.
Roger, were you intending for the group to not see you? Or are you just stealthing
I'm just being
for
sneaky.
stealth's sake? Okay, right.
If they don't see me, they don't see me.
Well,
With
if
that
I'll put it this way, Roger has disappeared as the group has been talking, while Belgian's been pointing at the statue and explaining stuff. So last thing that Roger said to the group was, "I knew it. I called it. I am the same height that I always have been," or however he said that. And then, as the group discussed, he at some point left the party. You can make perception checks to see if you can spot him, and we can see if anybody can beat that 27.
Ulrich cannot, so I will not.
I could possibly meet it, but I don't think I would have been paying attention. Maybe he had to go to the washroom. Maybe he just doesn't like history conversations.
He's listening from the shadow.
Knowing how elves go, maybe he knew the giants or something.
Fair, fair. He was probably around. I'm sure he'll be okay.
I'm just gonna say things at this point, Amadeus, if that's okay. So, no, you cannot make out anything at the moment.
Okay. Over the rings, I will communicate to the party. There's some voices on the other side of the ridge. Can't understand them yet.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's go say hi.
Yeah. Let's cautiously go that way. Or actually, maybe we should stay here while Roger listens in, because the moment I start moving towards him, it's gonna be I'm not exactly quiet.
We know.
Definitely gonna try and stay hidden. I can scout a little bit, but I will be exposed as soon as I get up towards the top of the ridge.
Well, do you want us to come your way or no?
Well, I mean, we could always walk up and then have Roger in the back as like a backup situation.
That's also fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Just try not to get attacked like outside of longbow range.
All right.
Try not to get attacked in general.
I like
But
that
if you
one.
have to
Alright.
get attacked, do it close enough that I can provide supporting fire.
Understood.
So Roger, from where you are at the pool, everybody's can see the map now, right?
Yep.
From where I did not continue my subscription to Roll20 at the moment, so there is no lighting in effect right now.
But as a
Hence
plus,
the
my computer can actually render the map.
well, I mean, with the lower stuff, you had no problem. It was just that forest that was a little bit of an issue. I would not be doing the forest the same way again because of that. But yeah, so Roger, you see that there is also another staircase up this way too. So this is the ridge here. You've got the staircase to the east and a staircase to the north.
I will inform the party of the paths and the staircases.
Do we split the party?
I think we should all just stay together. We're already split as it is with Roger.
Sure.
I'm going to hide behind this tree.
Okay. Just to describe what you're seeing at this pool, large roots from a larger tree spring out of the cliff side or the ridge to the east here and kind of wrap around in a circular pattern which have made this pool possible. Water catches in a basin that are made of roots and mud that have kind of piled up in there. It's kind of like a natural spring. The water is cool and refreshing.
Okay. Well, just to double check, I'm assuming Ulrich, and Jordan are probably the best to go speak to people. Mainly because we're the most charismatic. Also because, I mean, I'm perfection and Jordan is perfection and Ulrich is half perfection, so.
Roger is surprisingly good at deception.
I'm good at deception too, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't actually convince anybody to do anything. I can just lie to them.
Fair. Okay, so which staircase do we want to go? That one or that one? I suppose pointing with his hands.
I say left.
Left. Okay. I picked right last time and we went with that, so we'll go left this time.
So I'm gonna stealth, and I'll follow behind the party as they go to the left-hand staircase. I'm gonna try to stealth that. Sigh.
I mean, how unfriendly could they be?
Yeah. Assuming that nobody's stopping me yet, I will walk up to the stairs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously that way too.
We're just marching on in.
When in doubt, just rush it.
All right. Zippo, you see The large trees are less sparse here, just like the clearing down below. They kind of create a natural path that leads in the same direction as the other staircase.
Okay. I will continue then, as long as nobody's stopping me.
I mean, don't get too far ahead, little friend.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting on. It's for like, make sure you guys move up with me.
This is the best MMO ever.
All right, moving into the trees, you see that there's more trees that kind of get denser here, but you can see that there's more path, maybe even the remains of a road to the east through the trees. You could probably make your way through the trees, but you'll probably make more noise than if you went around into that clear area. Yarvik, so before Ulrich you move, Yarvik, you've moved to the stairwell. Roger, what are you up to?
I'm dipping out from behind the tree I was hiding in over here to go hide up closer to where we entered the clearing.
Okay. All right, Yarvik, from here you spot that the road continues east and also turns to the south as well. The rest of the group, you can kind of spot Yarvik popping up from the first stair that you chose not to go up.
Hey, look, it's Yarvik.
Just gonna tell the party over the ring what I see, that the road. I think that our path is going to be leading east or south. Though there is some kind of a dirt road or the remnants of a path leading off to the north as well. Bit of a crossroads.
Just to confirm, we can like walk through these trees, right?
You could, but it'll create more noise than if you
Walked around.
continued along the normal. Anywhere where it's like looks like grass.
Gotcha. Okay. I was making sure that we could go through the trees if it was an option. All right.
Yes.
I think it would be easier for the horses to go around and use the road.
I am on route.
All right, Zippo and Belgian, from where you are, you stop short, and the reason why. Oops. It's because you see the remains of a structure just to the south, and what appears to be, well, 8 large men with axes, shaved heads, tattoos on their forearms, quietly discussing things amongst themselves. They appear to be not giants, but Goliaths.
Belzian says over the rings, "This might be the Axe Clan."
Well, we should go ask them a question.
Have we seen Goliaths before? Like, are there Goliaths in Seregen?
They're very rare, but there are some Goliaths in Seregen, yes.
Gotcha.
You've only heard that there's Goliaths in Seregen. They were generally pretty heavily tapped in the wars as elite soldiers for the armies. It's said that one of Benjamin's generals was a Seregen, or sorry, a Goliath of some renown, but he was killed pretty early on in the war.
Gotcha. Well, we can try to speak to them, but I definitely don't think we should sneak up on them. Because if they're to be as revered as we hear about, then sneaking up and initiating the combat is not a good idea. But going up to speak to them probably wouldn't be too terrible, assuming they're not like automatically aggressive.
There's always the chance of that, but because
True.
like, who brings all their weapons to a random meeting in a rundown building?
True.
Adventurers. I think you'll find that they're more like us than you might have initially imagined.
They're just plotting their next adventure.
Yeah.
In fact, you see some of them are rolling like d20s, and like there seems to be a grid on the ground. They're moving small. No, I'm just kidding.
Moving 5 feet at a time.
Well, if we're gonna go speak to them, let's go speak to them. But I'm definitely leaving Brunhild here. Better safe than sorry. So Zippo will hop off Brunhild.
Roger, as this is happening, another Goliath seems to come out of the forest in the same direction as the party had come, and kind of goes past you without noticing.
Does he look like he's moving stealthily, or is he just kind of walking?
He's looking at the ground, and he seems to be following something that he sees on the ground.
I'll look at the ground in front of him.
There's some heavy hoof prints from a good amount of horses that have... Oh, our party.
I'll let the party know about this one in the back.
Once we do that, or once he does that, I think Ulrich just kind of on his horse is riding on up and initiates conversation. Hello, how we doing?
Immediately, the Goliaths straighten, turn to the party. One shouts something in a language that you do not recognize, and another one immediately begins.
Could I just say that I do know Giant?
Okay, good.
For some reason, it's in my...
then-
I mean, it is one of the languages I have.
Neat.
Perfect. He shouts at the group and pointing at you, trespassers, and another one raises his horn to blow
It's...
an alert.
As he says trespassers, I respond in Giant. No. Just lost.
Before the Goliath toots his horn, he freezes at hearing you speak in Giant, and the main one that yelled trespassers takes 2 steps forward. Notice how I used 2 5-foot steps to say 2 steps forward. And plants his feet, drops his axe to his side. And that's where we're going to end session.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boys.
That's why you.
He does not look happy still.
Yeah, no, of course
But
not.
But they didn't sound the alarm.
You know how hard it is to get 7 players together for a game of D&D every week, and everyone showing up. So they're just upset we might interrupt their game.
Let's see, one of them showed up late.
Yeah, right.
I bet he's late every week.
Yeah, he's just
But
staring at
the
the
late
game.
guy probably
guys, I
brings,
brought the
like,
Cheetos and the
amazing
Mountain
food.
Dew.
He probably
It'd be
he
great.
probably brings the food though, so like
If
he's
he
late, but
shows
it's
up-
like an acceptable late because he brings the pizza for everybody.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully
if
we're
he's
not the
15
pizza.
minutes late every week with pizza, he's right on time, and we were all early.
Yep.
He's doing the God's work there, yeah. All right. Well, that is our session for today. So we will be meeting in 2 weeks, which is May 3rd, I believe. Yeah. Which will be our official anniversary for Twitch. Not for us, but for Twitch. And that'll be session 28. Is everybody good with the 3rd?
Yeah.
That's to my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone out there in Twitchland. We will see you next time. In the meantime, be safe and don't let Goliath get you down.
Remember, you're all perfect.
Bye.
That one I won't walk back. Keep being perfect, folks.